Surveillance video captures a group of masked suspects smashing into the front of fine jewelry in Milipitas. Police say this all happened around 1:30 Wednesday afternoon. Within seconds, the suspects flee after the owner fires a shot. Police said the suspects fled before they arrived. We captured the aftermath, shattered doors and windows. Milipitas Mayor Carmen Montaño said she's devastated.
I feel that if they didn't have that weapon to scare them off, it would have been worse.
Another in a series I like to call, you won't hear it in the mainstream media. Welcome to another installment of the Connecticut Gun Bench. Today's video is brought to you by P.A.N. Firearms, LLC. P.A.N. Firearms, your NRA certification of multifaceted gun training. You can reach us at 203-300-6343 or use our website at www.panfirearmsllc.com. As always, there'll be a link in the description box below. And if you like the channel, like content, what I do here, you can support me. The link, everything's appreciated. Online store is open. CGB20 gets you 20% off. Free shipping. Connecticut residents got to pay that sales tax. But CGB20 gets you 20% off. And let's talk about this. And this is a story that went down 2 weeks ago. But once again, it's a feel-good story to a degree, because it once again exposes a real problem that is being ignored. But in the Bay Area, out there in California, a bunch of young scholars, future engineers, future astronauts ran into a shopping plaza and attempted to break into the jewelry store. Obviously, this was a coordinated effort, seeing the number that ran in. The owner, who had been robbed 2 years earlier, was prepared and opened fire, and they all fled. Now, you could say good for the owner, took care of business, but once again, you've got these gangs of idiots out there committing crimes en masse, especially in California, despite the fact that the Californians voted for Prop 36, which was supposed to make the punishment for these kinds of crimes more severe.
In front of the damaged storefront, Montaño was joined by the group called Coalition for Community Engagement. They're calling for Governor Newsom to allocate funding for Proposition 36, a crime bill that passed in November.
He's only spent $100 million, which is a small drop in the bucket for public safety. We need enough money to get the job done.
This is the same group that held a rally on Tuesday after a smash and grab incident in San Jose. An 88-year-old jewelry store owner was shoved to the ground.
We see criminals in broad daylight attacking small businesses.
Mayor Montaño is now spearheading a movement of Bay Area mayors to write a group letter to the governor.
It's getting out of hand. We got to step up and please do your job.
But obviously it's not working because this continues to be a problem. This is not the first time that they've gone after a jewelry store in the state where the store owner basically protects themselves from the other side with a gun.
A shocking robbery attempt in Anaheim caught on camera. At least 20 people in broad daylight trying to bust into a jewelry store. But this time, the owner stopped the heist in just seconds.
And good for them. And as I always say, because this is California, I do worry for the legal citizen, because the states like California are more inclined to hold the law-abiding citizen to a higher standard than the criminals. That's why these criminals act the way they do, because they know they're not going to get nothing but a slap on the wrist in the end. But let me go ahead and give you some info.
Deadly shootout at an Oakland store last night is not the only case of a business owner or a worker protecting their stores by opening fire on would-be robbers. KTV South Bay reporter Jesse Gary joins us live from Milipitas, where an owner also took store security into his own hands.
When experts consider such actions part of a cause and effect cycle, violence seeming to pervade American society, and the response to that is becoming violent. Neighboring business owners say they saw this attempted smash and grab coming a mile away. But as a group of 10 to 15 suspects tried to hammer their way into fine jewelry in Milipitas, the owner fired gunshots out of the store, forcing the group to scatter.
They had to take action, drastic action, to defend themselves and their family. If they had not fired warning shots, their complete livelihood would have been ruined.
The employee did contact 911 immediately upon the incident occurring. At this time, we don't have any reports of any injuries.
While Milpitas police search for additional clues and the multiple suspects, experts say such scenarios could be becoming more common. Wednesday in Oakland, an attempted robbery on International Boulevard sparks a gun battle between the store owner and alleged criminals. 2 suspects were killed, 3 others wounded, as was the business owner.
It's kind of mind-boggling and discombobulating to see such violence in our news, what seems to be every day.
Santa Clara University clinical psychologist Dr. Thomas Plant says recent mass shootings, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, and violent crimes around the Bay Area are all feeding off each other.
What the hell? What happened to the safety of the public right now? The business is in danger. We are in danger too.
Experts say a jittery populace is being led to believe violence is the solution to violence.
We like to feel like we have control and we're not at the whims of other people. And when you see violence all around you, you feel like our society, our culture is not under control. And in order to gain control, you might say, well, I'm going to get some firearms myself.
As repairs are being made at fine jewelry, the owners are keeping quiet. Perhaps hopeful the sounds of gunshots Wednesday will speak loudest to the next potential crew of robbers. Milipitas police say while the gun and the actions of the business owner were both legal, they point out it is very fortunate that no one inside the mall was hit by the 2 shots that were fired.
Heard that and you saw that. There it is. But you know, I've always asked this question. Who did you vote for? Because the people you're voting for out there in California are the ones who are allowing this to happen. They're the ones who basically incite this kind of behavior with soft on crime policies. Gavin Newsom is the king of this nonsense. Despite having Prop 36, there really has not been a change in that state when it comes to this. And he makes it even harder for law-abiding citizens to protect themselves from situations like this. Crime is out of control, especially in the more liberal areas of California, Oakland, San Diego, can go on and on, San Francisco. But yet, every time these people complain, we need more safety. Well, you voted for people who are all about protecting criminals and defund the police. If you vote that way, guess what you're going to get? Maybe, here's a thought, you should rethink your voting practices. Just saying, because this is what you get when you vote for progressive, liberal Democrats. This is what you get. Okay? And to see how bold this was, broad daylight in a closed-in shopping area. Wow, that's balls out right there. You know, it's unbelievable. But obviously it's a planned attack and coordinated to a degree. As you can see, a number of them coming in, but good for the store owner, managed, they pulled out a gun and defended themselves. Blessings go with you. And I hope they make it through without being scrutinized by the state for actually discharging a firearm in defense of themselves and their property, which you should have every right to do. Once you start dispelling some real justice on these scumbags, they will change their behavior. Once you start holding them accountable for what they do, they will change their behavior. Once you start locking them up for serious stretches of time, they will change their behavior. But you keep coddling them, you keep patting them on the head and say, oh, we're just going to do equity in our justice system and cut them loose, and they go out and do the same thing again. You have no one to blame but yourself. Be nice to see Californians wake up and realize that their elected officials are really not on their side, especially when it comes to crime. But let me know what you think. As always, you can leave your comments in the comment section below. And as always, any statements of violence or things that lead to violence will be removed. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're notified the next time a video goes live. I'm going to see you on the next one. Peace.